I'm making this video to demonstrate self-evaluation using a rubric. And this is something that you want to do after you complete a worksheet and before you upload it to your portfolio. You want to look it over, compare with the rubric, and self-reflect. You want to see where your strengths are, some areas you need to change on your worksheet before you submit it to give you the highest quality product that you're turning in for your teacher. So here's kind of a spin-off of one of the worksheets. I changed the numbers and whatnot. This is a dump truck containing a full load of dirt can fill a hole in the ground 22% of the way. How many loads of dirt will completely fill the hole? And then 1, use a paint program to create a visual model and paste it below. Well, I decided to use a rectangular model with 22% representing each fraction that the dump truck will fill in the hole. So you can see there's 22% 4 times and then 12% left over. And these 22% all total 88%, and then plus the 12 makes 100% of the dirt. Well, let's take a look at the rubric and see where this visual model would rank. So for 6 points, which is the highest possible, the visual model matches the equation, is complete, and a clear representation is included. Well, it looks to me like all those items are there. It does match the question, all the numbers are right. It does align with the idea of a dump truck filling 22% of a hole each time, and it looks pretty clear to me. Just to compare, let's look at the 4 point. The 4 point is the visual model matches the question but is incomplete or confusing. I really don't think it's incomplete or confusing, so I'm thinking I would earn a 6 points on this. Because really what you want to do with this rubric is you want to print it out. Then you can mark on it. So print out the page the rubric's on, and this one I'm thinking 6 is where I'm at now. Okay, let's take a look at the next part, question 2. It says create an equation and explain how it relates to the visual model. So here's my equation, y equals 0.22x, and it says the equation shows for each load x, 22% of the hole will be filled in. Y represents the amount of dirt that will fill the hole. So let's compare with the rubric. The equation is correct. The explanation is included in Coherent. That would be the 6 points. And then 4 points would be the equation is correct and explanation is included but doesn't make sense. Well, the explanation makes sense to me and I think the equation is correct, so I think I would be at 6 points here right now. Number 3 says answer the question and explain how you determined your answer using complete sentences. There are 4 full loads and 12/22 or 12/22 of a load. This means there are 4 and 12/22. And this is my way to write the mixed number 4 and 12/22 is to put the word and in here. If you put 4 right next to the 12, it may look like 412, so I just decided to do it this way. It says that answer can be simplified to 4 and 6/11 because there's a 2 in common with the 12 and the 22. So 4 and 6/11 loads needed to fill the hole completely. So I explained my answer. Let's look at the rubric. It says the question is answered correctly and the explanation is coherent. Coherent means it makes sense. The question is answered completely, an explanation is included but doesn't make sense. That's a 4 points. Well, I think my explanation makes sense, so I'm going to circle this one again. So this worksheet looks like I'm doing really well. At least I think I am. Number 4, did you round your answer? If so, explain how you determined your precision or decimal place. If you didn't round your answer, explain why an exact answer is better. And then so my answer is I think 5 loads would be better so the hole is filled completely. And let's take a look at the rubric. A coherent explanation, and again coherent means makes sense, explanation of the chosen decimal place is included. That would be 6 points. An explanation of the chosen decimal place is included, but it is slightly confusing. And it says the chosen decimal place is mentioned, but there is no explanation, or there is no answer and no explanation. So let's compare with my answer and see where that fits. I think 5 loads would be better so the hole is filled completely. Well, I do say 5 loads is better so the hole will fill completely, but the question's asking about rounding. And I didn't really answer the question about rounding. I mean, my answer for question 3, I had 4 and 6/11, and so I had an exact answer. but I didn't address that question. I just said I think 5 loads would be better so the hole is completely filled. So on this one, I would be somewhere here, and it would really be up to the instructor. I mean, there's no answer and no explanation. That's not correct. The chosen decimal place is mentioned, but there's no explanation. That's not really it either, so I'm somewhere in here. Because I didn't really mention the decimal place, but I did say something. I mean, I said I thought 5 loads would be better, but maybe that's not the best answer. I really need to mention about my decimal place, whether I used a decimal place or a fraction, or if I used a whole number. And I used a fraction but didn't explain why I used a fraction. I didn't say why it's better. So this answer needs some revision. So what I want to do is I want to go back to my worksheet, and I want to change this answer so it aligns with the rubric. I want to explain why I used 4 6/11 and what's the value of that as opposed to using, say, 5 loads. Because if I was going to say 5 loads, I would have set it up here for question 3 and then explained why I rounded it for question 4. So as it stands now, I would expect to have around, 6, 12, 18 to 20 points. But notice right here, it says resubmit for 0 and 2. That means my instructor, when they're using the rubric to evaluate my worksheet, if I have a 2-point item or a 0-point item, they're going to send it back to me and say, hey, you need to adjust this, and here's why. So that means I'll have to redo the work anyway. So I might as well just do it now and get my answer over here into the 4 and 6-point area, somewhere in here, where I know that my worksheet will be accepted and I'll know it's my best work. Okay, so I hope that example helps to give you an idea of how to use the rubric to self-evaluate before you turn in your worksheet. And if you have further questions on this, feel free to send your instructor a message in the message box and ask for some clarification, and I'm sure your instructor will get back to you.